don't know, the center is the goose, and these are called the sky, since we want to use technical terms. Everybody knows a million ways now how to make flying geese. We know how to make 4 of them at a time and all of this. But what if you don't want the skies the same fabric? Oh, well then those go out the door. What if you decide you want to make a pieced border, or you want to have just a little variety going on? Then all of those ways of making multiple flying geese at once go out the door. And in comes the folded corner clipper. So for this example here, we have a 6.5 by 3.5 inch rectangle. So we would have a 3.5 inch square. We would just line this up at the 3.5 inch mark and cut. You're going to end up with this little extra piece here. You would do the same on the other side, and you would have your flying goose block. So now we want to get fancy, because we don't want to be like everybody else. We can take this same piece, whatever size square you want. You find it on here. This is a 2-inch square. You place it on here and you cut, you get this strip. Way easier than trying to sew these little slender strips and have them straight, because the foundation is going to keep them straight. You could go to an even smaller piece. I have one here, a 1-inch piece. Put it on there and sew. And so you can keep going. This gives you the chance to switch out any block in any pattern that you're making, and you can alter it and make it very unique, so that your quilt is not quilt number 2,360 of the same quilt, only in a different color, because you've switched out the blocks, and all it takes is for you to know the size of the square and match it to this. You're only bound by 1/4 inches. This is only in 1/4 inches, and only to 5. Also, how about square? Yes.
Did you sew the bigger triangle to the other big triangle and then flip off the edge?
This is how it started.
Okay, and then you used that to cut this piece off.
Yes.
So that piece. Okay,
Yes.
I get it.
Yes. So now both of these started off as 5.5 inch squares. The only difference in a square and a square and a snowball block is how far in you bring the tool and cut. You spread it out, you have a snowball block. You bring it in and overlap it, you have a square and a square. Okay? And you can keep going. How about
It's cool fabric.
from the ugly fabric section?
The ugly fabric section?
Ugly to me.
What store do you go to?
So I took this, and the challenge was to make this at least somewhat appealing. So I kept putting the folded corner clipper on the square and adding a square and adding a square.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. Very good kaleidoscope. That is really cool.
And now,
And it looks like it's on one piece.
That's beautiful.
and now it's interesting. Now,
I like the other fabric. I like the fabric too.
But that really changed it up.
Totally.
if you cut with right sides together,
Can you open that and let that lay open?
oh sure,
And then when you went to quilt that, did you quilt in the ditch? Or?
no, it's
No, you can
just,
see it.
Well, oh, it's free motion. Okay.
yeah,
I see it.
yeah.
Sorry.
If you put right sides together and use the folded corner clipper, you get a mitered border, an attic window. Or you can take a triangle and only do one edge, butt those up. You can make it thinner. It could be a sashing with a little something going on the end. If you butt this together with another one, you'll have this.
Can I take you home with you?
Are all of these instructions to do that?
I'm gonna, well, you know, some, when I'm sitting up at midnight eating chips, I come up with it. This is 16 2.5-inch squares. Who knew they could be so adorable? That's all it is with the folded corner clipper, just a square here, and of course you would have to lay it out. Because these were discordant colors, nothing matched. I used the neutral as a unifier, and so now we have a little bitty pillow.
Very cute. That's just
Okay.
beautiful.
All right.
So then you could make a whole bunch of blocks and then sew them all together, and then you've got a really cool scrappy quilt.
Yes, you do. And then you could border it and or miter it because you're so fancy now. And then of course you must at the end say, how I toiled.